Big scoring today for Melbourne over Geelong at the MCG. About 40,000 people there, amongst them Kevin Bartlett. And Kevin, the scoring power for Melbourne was very impressive.
Yes, Bruce, an absolute record score kicked by the Demons against Geelong today. 26-18, 174 points, a 65-point win, and their forward line functioned beautifully with Jakovich booting 8 goals, 8. He should have kicked about 12 goals. Garry Lyon was absolutely superb. The leader of the club kicked 5 goals across the half-forward line. And Swartz, a player who was missing last year, burst back into calculations and playing across centre-half forward in a two-pronged attack with Garry Lyon, also booted 4 goals. Lovell around the ground booted 4 also. And young Jeff Hilton, a young boy, came across from St Kilda, booted 3 goals in the last quarter, and he looks like he's a good find as well. We've got some terrific highlights coming up from the game. We see here Jakovich, this is a collector's item, a long handball in the second quarter, goes across here to Lovell, and Lovell from just on the 50-metre line pops this one straight through the centre. Been a terrific play. We see a great smother here by Swartz, which ricochets back towards Jakovich, who picks this one up. He booted 4 goals in the second quarter in an absolute superb display. He was too good for O'Reilly. Then he had Darcy also onto him. We see here Garry Hocking, the best player for Geelong, along with John Barnes, ricochets into the man there, but picks up well, and magnificent kick on his left boot there, his non-preferred boot, and he just drilled it. He was a great player, Garry Hocking. He kept Geelong in the game. We see Neitz now coming down from centre-half back, another fine player towards Jakovich. Now have a look here, Bruce, because he kicks a great goal. He now gives the crowd a high five. Now, I played 403 games. I never thought of doing that. I was always worried I'd get my arm ripped off.
KB kissed his brother last year.
He did too. We see Jakovich once more there in front of the pack. Beautiful pick up by Swartz as he puts that one through. He's
important to them, Swartz, isn't he? Because he basically had an off-season last year.
Yes, played very few games, and he hasn't got the headband this year. This is Ablett's first goal for the match. This came late in the game. A magnificent snap. The crowd went wild. They were waiting all day for Jakovich to do well. And we see here Viney kicking the ball up. Coming through there is Jakovich, just tapped it down to Hilton, who kicked this goal. He kicked 3 goals in the last quarter in what was an absolute onslaught by the Demons. So they ran out winners by 65 points. We can see here the quarter-by-quarter scores. They led by 18 points at quarter time, 24 points at half time, 34 points at three-quarter time, and finally won by 65 points. 26-18, that's a record score for the Demons against the Cats.
Kevin Gerard Healy said on Sportsworld this morning that Sean Wight would play on Garry Ablett, despite the fact that Wight hadn't played in any of the pre-season. He obviously had a very big match.
Well, he did. He was fantastic. He didn't have many stats, but I thought he was absolutely fantastic when you consider that he was playing on Garry Ablett, who at the MCG has got such a fantastic record, and he's arguably the greatest player playing league football today. And for Sean Wight to play on him today and to do so well, he kicked 2 goals. He kicked 1 goal, his last goal of the match, also in the last quarter, virtually on the siren, to give him 2 for the game. But Sean Wight was absolutely superb. And also we should mention that Rodney Grinter was reported by 2 umpires. He hasn't got a very good record at the tribunal. Umpire Sheehan and McKenzie reported him for allegedly charging John Barnes of Geelong. So let's see what takes place with Rodney Grinter. I personally didn't think there was much in the incident.
Give us your votes, KB.
Well, I gave 3 votes to Sean Wight. I thought he was absolutely superb at fullback today. 2 votes to Garry Lyon, and I gave 1 vote to Alan Jakovich. And after the game, let me tell you that Stephen Phillips went down into the Melbourne rooms and he caught up with the best player on the ground, Sean Wight.
Sean, 7 goals a match he averaged last year. You knew you had a big job on your hands.
Well, a lot of people were sort of saying if I can keep him down to 5 or 6, I'll be doing a good job. But I put high expectations on my own ability, and I was hoping to sort of keep him down to about 1 or 2. And Peter Roder hadn't given him that free kick. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. You know, I mean, I was happy. I mean, it was a team effort. It made it easier for me because the ball wasn't really sort of coming down very fast. So.
Do you sleep well before a match like this, or do you play the game through in your mind?
Yesterday during the day was a bit difficult. I was pretty uptight. You know, I was pretty fidgety the whole time, but I slept like a baby last night. I was quite happy.
I don't think he'll sleep too well tonight because that goal right on the bell must have just upset a near-perfect day for you.
Well, you know, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, he'll probably come out and kick 10 goals next week. You know, I mean, it's just the way the game goes. I mean, everybody's really happy about it. As you can see, all the boys are pretty happy to, you know, get off to a win, you know, in the first game this year, considering it took us 4 last year.
Well done.
Thanks very much.
Sean Wight getting the Sportswell votes from Kevin Bartlett. Thanks for that, Kevin. And Sean Wight had a hamstring operation less than 4 weeks ago and has bounced back.